magistrate.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. Is everything okay?
Sir, I need you to put your tray table up now.
I will in a moment.
That's not good enough. Do it immediately. Here you are, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The cabin buzzed with the usual chatter as passengers stowed their bags and settled into seats. Among them, a calm, confident black man walked toward first class, his demeanor composed and assured. The flight attendant greeted him politely, but her smile didn't reach her eyes. There was a subtle undercurrent of dismissiveness in the way she spoke. He returned her greeting with quiet confidence, noticing her slight hesitation. The air felt charged with something unspoken. Other passengers sensed a subtle tension, though no one could yet identify it. It was an ordinary flight, yet a storm quietly stirred beneath the surface. After buckling in, the man pressed the call button. "Could I get a glass of water, please?" he asked, calm and courteous. The flight attendant paused, a flicker of annoyance crossing her face. "I'm sorry, sir. We're just about to prepare the meal service," she replied, avoiding eye contact. The excuse sounded weak, and her tone carried a hint of dismissal. Passengers nearby exchanged glances, some leaning subtly to watch. He didn't raise his voice, simply waited patiently, his posture unshaken. The tension was palpable. A quiet awareness spread among those around them. Fingers hovered over phones, capturing subtle gestures. Every movement, the attendant's sharp exhale, her shifting stance hinted at a conflict quietly mounting. Whispers rippled through the cabin. As passengers pulled out their phones, aiming to discreetly record the interaction, the man remained composed, his voice steady, his hands relaxed. The flight attendant shifted nervously, glancing around as if seeking support from invisible allies. Her polite mask was cracking. Eyes followed every small gesture, noting the sharpness in her tone and the slight tremor in her hands. Some passengers exchanged concerned looks, while others whispered softly, wondering why a simple request had caused such strain. A sense of anticipation hung in the air, almost tangible, as if everyone knew a confrontation was inevitable. The tension thickened with each passing second, drawing the attention of the entire first-class cabin. After a pause, the man spoke again, his voice polite, yet firm. "I'd really appreciate a glass of water." The flight attendant's smile tightened, her defensiveness rising. "Sir, I already explained we are about to start meal service. You'll have to wait." Her words carried a sharp edge now, betraying her discomfort. Passengers shifted in their seats, some leaning forward, whispering to each other, while others continued filming. The man's calm persistence contrasted with her growing unease. He did not raise his voice or gesticulate aggressively. His controlled demeanor only amplified the tension. The cabin felt suspended, as if everyone collectively held their breath. A small battle of wills was unfolding in silence, and the outcome remained uncertain, leaving the audience on edge. Finally, the man's calm patience gave way to action. "I'd like to speak with the airline director, or someone in authority, about this treatment," he requested, his tone composed but unmistakably serious. The flight attendant froze, her defensiveness faltering. "Sir, there's no need," she started, but her voice lacked conviction. Nervous glances darted around the cabin. Even nearby passengers felt the shift in power. Her hands fidgeted with the service tray, and her polished mask of confidence was slipping. Whispers grew louder as passengers leaned closer, sensing the confrontation's gravity. The man's calm insistence contrasted sharply with her unraveling composure, creating an almost cinematic tension. Every eye was on them, waiting. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation. A single phone call or decision could tip the situation into public spectacle. Sensing the importance of transparency, the man gestured subtly to the surrounding passengers. "Please feel free to record this," he said politely, without a hint of hostility. Phones clicked on, and the moment was captured from multiple angles. The attendant's refusal, her nervous tone, her darting eyes. The video documented more than her words. It revealed her attitude, her hesitation, and the unequal dynamic in the cabin. Every observer felt the suspense growing. Whispers and camera lenses amplified the tension. The man's composed patience contrasted sharply with the attendant's discomfort. Passengers leaned in, captivated. The incident was no longer private, it was now a recorded event, an undeniable record of a confrontation that was escalating with every second. Leaving everyone to wonder what would happen next, the man calmly reached for his phone and dialed the airline director while still seated, his movements deliberate. The phone rang, and moments later, a composed, commanding voice filled the cabin through the speaker. "This is the director. How can I assist?" The contrast was immediate. The director's calm authority highlighted the attendant's nervous energy. The attendant's smile faltered, her eyes widening as she listened. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, passengers leaned forward, straining to hear, some still recording. The man spoke politely but firmly, explaining the incident. Every word carried weight, and the tension in the cabin skyrocketed. Anticipation hung thick in the air. The audience, both passengers and those recording, knew this confrontation was about to reach its peak. The entire first-class cabin was silent, waiting. Her posture stiffened, and a pale expression spread across her face. Slowly, she began to grasp the man's influence, the reach of his authority, and the undeniable evidence in front of her. Her hands trembled slightly, and she avoided eye contact, a stark contrast to her previous composure. The man remained calm, his voice steady, his body language unshaken, amplifying the suspense. Passengers leaned in, silently watching the unfolding drama, sensing the weight of the moment. Every flicker of her gaze, every hesitant movement, told a story of shock and disbelief. The cabin's energy was electric, a mixture of awe and tension. It was clear something major was about to happen, and no one could predict the attendant's next move. Finally, the director spoke decisively. "We have reviewed the incident, and the flight attendant in question will be terminated immediately." The words reverberated through the cabin. Passengers gasped, some whispering in disbelief, while others recorded the moment with their phones, capturing her reaction. The attendant's face drained of color. She looked around, realizing the gravity of her mistake, in front of a live audience. There was no denying the public acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Every passenger seemed to collectively exhale, tension still lingering but shifting to astonishment. Cameras clicked, phones captured her faltering expressions, and murmurs spread throughout first class. Questions hung in the air. What would happen to the rest of the flight? How would this affect the airline's reputation? The suspense was palpable, as the man's calm victory reshaped the atmosphere entirely. Once the situation was settled, the man stood, collected his belongings, and offered a polite nod to the crew. "Thank you for your attention," he said calmly, his tone measured and dignified. Passengers watched in awe, whispering quietly among themselves about the contrast between his restraint and the attendant's panic. The tension that had gripped the cabin slowly dissipated, replaced by admiration for his composure. People continued recording, capturing his quiet dignity as he moved down the aisle. Unaffected by the spectacle he had just commanded, his calm demeanor left a lingering impression, a subtle reminder that power often comes from restraint rather than force. Eyes followed him, silently acknowledging the quiet strength of one determined individual. As soon as the plane landed, passengers began posting videos online. The footage spread quickly, going viral across social media platforms. Public outrage grew, with users praising the man's calm approach and condemning the flight attendant's discriminatory behavior. News outlets picked up the story, sharing clips of the confrontation and highlighting the airline's immediate response. The company released an official statement, apologizing for the incident and hinting at upcoming policy changes. Hashtags and trending posts amplified the conversation, fueling societal debate about customer treatment and racial bias. The suspense lingered even after the video went viral. People wondered about consequences, both for the airline and for the individuals involved. The story sparked reflection nationwide, leaving viewers captivated and demanding accountability. In the aftermath, the story became more than a viral incident, it was a lesson in dignity and courage. The man's calmness, patience, and assertive yet polite demeanor showcased the power of standing up against discrimination without aggression. In contrast, the flight attendant's panic and defensiveness highlighted how wrongdoing and poor judgment are exposed when confronted with accountability. Passengers and viewers alike reflected on the ripple effect of one courageous act. A single individual, armed with composure and moral clarity, could influence not only those present, but also a wider society through documentation and public awareness. It served as a reminder that courage often comes quietly but can leave a lasting impact. As discussions continued online and offline, one question lingered. What would you do in this moment? The story concluded on a suspenseful yet reflective note, urging self-examination and awareness.